You might think to get something high quality with good materials and fit and finish, you're gonna have to spend a lot of money, but that's simply not the case. Every knife that we're gonna showcase today is going to be at or around $30. And when you see just how good the quality control is, fit and finish materials, it's gonna really blow you away. These are my top 10 favorite knives under $30 in 2025. Let's get started. Now I do have one honorable mention for this list, and it's because this is actually an American-made knife under $30. This is the Buck Knives Bantam 825. It is probably the only knife that I'm going to recommend from them under that price point because it has a mid-back lock, allowing it to be disengaged one-handed as well as being deployed one-handed, and actually pretty well, in fact. The other things that are worth noting, it's not going to compare to the knives we're going to be talking about today in materials, fit and finish, blade grind. This one in particular has a pretty rough blade grind, and of course, clip options and so on and so forth. But I do want to mention it because some people really want to find something USA made. Well, the 825 is a perfect size, and for some reason, I like it far better than the larger version of the knife. So I would recommend this one. It's just not as good as what I'm going to show you today. Now coming in at number 10 on my list, and I did decide to actually do this in order so you can know which ones I think are better than others. This is the QSP Parrot. We have D2 blade steel with a belt satin finish. This one comes in the denim micarta. It's a little bit more expensive, I think 32 versus 26 for some of the G10 variations, but I prefer to have this one in my collection as a reference point. It has a reversible pocket clip, nice lock bar access, decent action, but the thing is, this is actually on washers, which is not a bad thing. Because of that, it's not a knife that's going to drop shut on you, and it's a good way to transition to a modern folder with good detent and action. So I can still highly recommend it with a neutral grip that is very easy to use with a sub 3-inch blade. It's a really good starting point and is a good beginning for this list as well. Coming in at number 9 on the list, we have this Ganzo, which is the G768 PT in D2 blade steel with a PVD coating around a 3.5-inch blade, multiple forms of deployment, crossbar lock, fully ambidextrous with a pocket clip insert. You'll notice how it's also flush with the frame, which is quite nice. The handle texture is excellent. The handle grip, sorry, that was embarrassing. The handle grip is very, very nice with a decent texture on the G10 as well. It can be held in many different ways, and it's definitely one of my favorite knives from them, and kind of represents the larger knife options in this price point. I think this one is just done better than most out there. It is a really solid pick if you're looking for something that's tough, but also inexpensive. I like this knife a lot, and I really like the crossbar lock as an option. Next, at number 8, we have the Monikala Assault Team. So this actually not only represents one of my favorite knives at $30, it also represents one of my favorite knives at $40 as well, with the titanium frame lock option. Yes, they have a $40 version with a titanium frame lock. It's pretty nuts. But what really attracts me to this knife, it just like with the last one, which is around a 3.5-inch blade, this one is more aggressive in nature, but the compound grind gives you all the sliciness of a hollow grind with having the thick piercing tip of a flat grind at the top, without having to worry about two different transitions, so you don't have to worry about a tanto. This is just a really excellent knife with great action, multiple deployments. One thing of note is that this is not left-hand friendly, so if you are a southpaw, this is not going to be for you. But overall, I'm very, very impressed with it. A lot of people have already reviewed it and tested it. 14C28N at this price point with a compound grind is pretty nuts, and I can definitely recommend it. Coming in at 7th and 6th place, I couldn't figure out which one is which, but both of them are absolutely excellent. These are two knives from CJRB. They are in AR RPM 9 steel, which is like a spray form 9CR. in layman's terms, that means that it has higher toughness with similar edge performance. So it's a very good steel in the budget realm, and both of these are quite good. So we have FRN handles with a crossbar lock for this one, all on bearings with a nice pocket clip as well that is reversible. It is also going to be true for this, but I like this one. Now that I think about it, I'm actually going to put this at number 6. And this is the, what do you call it? The Pyrite Lite. I still think this is my favorite of all the Pyrite variations. I like the thumb stud better. I like the blade length better. I think the grip is better. And I also like how the pocket clip is completely flush with the handle, which is very, very nice. We have a button lock actuation. Very fidgety, very enjoyable, and equally fun whether you're right or left-handed. I actually find it's just as easy to use it with my left hand. It's just a different finger to disengage the lock. So pointer finger versus thumb. It's just a little bit different, but otherwise absolutely excellent. Can recommend either one of these if they are to your liking. I also find that both of these knives, especially the Pyrite Lite, is a very thin blade stock, which I very much prefer as a daily carry because it makes it very, very slicey. So these are both great options, worthy of being in this top 10. In many ways, this is the knife that all others have to be judged against because it is the number 1 selling knife on Amazon and is one of the most widely available knives in the United States because you can buy it directly at Walmart for under $30, as well as doing it online. And that makes it unique in this particular list. So it has excellent G10 handle texture, a really nice clip. It is not reversible, so keep that in mind, with flush set screws. It has D2 blade steel, excellent action on this knife. Flipper only on this one. We have enough of a grip to do a full 4-finger grip, but it also has a nice forward finger choil for use in various different cutting tasks. So it's an excellent knife and a good option. Just be aware, it does not have that reversible clip. So a good one for sure. The Mini-Praxis is a mainstay and is a great metric to decide what is better and what is worse. This knife, had it had a reversible clip, would easily have taken the number 1 spot. And it is a brand new knife that I hadn't even known existed. I think it might actually be new for this year. I think they have pretty much made their best sub $30 knife at this point. This is from SRM. It is the 105GK. What makes this knife special is a few things. Number 1, we have 14C28N blade steel. We also have a pretty unusual weight. It is by far the lightest knife on this table at around 1.95 ounces. So less than 2 ounces for this knife. It has a crown spine, which is an added feature that costs more money. You have excellent handle texture, a beautiful brass pivot collar, good lock bar access, crazy good action, flush set screws on the pocket clip. It is really, really good. And then on top of it, notice this back flipper, it actually disappears. So you have the full length of the handle in use, and that makes it pretty different than anything else we've seen on this list. It also has a really well done plunge, so there's plenty of sharpening left in this knife, so you'll be able to keep this for a really long time. I'm very impressed. If they ever make this version with the same price with a reversible clip, I'd call it just, yeah, it'd be incredible, to say the least. Not much more to say. This one is certainly something to pick up if you're looking for a budget option that has 14C28N. It's probably one of the best that I've seen. I love the blade grind. I love how thin it is. Not much more to say. Take a look. Now we come to the top 3, and something you're going to notice right away is that all 3 of these knives are made by the exact same company. I thought about doing only one per company, but that just didn't make sense considering one company above all others just completely dominate the category. And this brand is called Miguron. Now, they have never sent me anything. I've purchased 100% of the knives that I've ever had from Miguron, and they are always remarkably good. Fit and finish, quality control, the looks, the action, the detents, they're all so well tuned. And it's absurd that they put so much detail into their budget line that you know, when I tried their premium offerings, they didn't seem to be that much better. That's how good these budget knives actually are. So I don't know the names off the top of my head. I'm kind of going on the fly. So I'll post a listing for each one. But this is probably coming in at number 3. We have a contoured G10 handle with G10 backspacer, nice flush screws on this pocket clip. Excellent action on this knife with D2 blade steel with a nice PVD coating. And I will say, of all of the ones on the list, the PVD coating on Miguron is better than anyone else, by far. The matte finish that they get from it just looks better and more premium than anything else on here. And when you look at some of the grays that they do, they're just fantastic. We'll show you in just a second, but absolutely fantastic. And with D2 being a knife steel that is a tool, I should say a tool steel, it does corrode a little easier than a stainless. So having that PVD coating is really, really, really nice. So excellent, excellent knife with excellent jimping on the flipper tab, as well as right here to kind of tell you where you are on the knife. Can highly recommend. Okay, so coming in at number 2 is going to be this bad boy. And unlike the last one, this actually has a reversible clip, but it doesn't have flush, is not flush to the frame for that reason. So we can attach it either way. It has great action once again. We have detent on the flipper as well as on the top. You also have with this knife, which is really, really nice, is a fuller. And this allows you to easily reverse flick the knife, which I very much enjoy. It's mostly for fidget factor, but I do like having multiple deployment options, and it's there well enough that you can actually do it with your thumb if you practice a little bit. Keeping in mind, you're not trying to push out, you're trying to push that direction, okay? So really, really, really good offering. Quality control, fit and finish on this is freaking amazing, and it comes in a variety of different colors. But I think the one that takes the top spot is actually a new offering from them, and I have another that's still in the mail that hasn't come yet. It's their new crossbar lineup, and this one is like a 2.8-inch blade. We actually have a PVD coating. It's like a gray PVD. It's beautiful on this with aluminum handle scales, crossbar lock, flush pocket clip this time around. Crazy good action on this one. Great sound even. Like, it just doesn't feel like a $30 knife. In fact, I've had $200 knives that aren't done as well as this knife. That's how good this thing is. Absurd. Absolutely absurd how good Miguron is, without question. Now, there are a few others in their sub $30 category. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one because the D10 is a little too strong to use the fuller, and it's basically front flipper only. So unless you really, really love front flippers, I recommend the other 3, but it is another great example of their fit and finish and quality control. Just look at this, right? Like, it's just a level above everything else we see at this price point. So there you have it. My top 10 folding knives at and around $30. I don't think you can go wrong with any one of them, without question. And I do think there's enough variety in this price point that you can find exactly what you're looking for, whether you want something that's made in America, whether it's D2, 14C, 28N, AR, RPM 9. There's so many different options, and the quality control is quite phenomenal if you know where to look. As always, thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.